So what's the status of federal gun control today? Well, let's talk about it because it's getting hard to keep up with. It's changing by the day and sometimes by the hour. Thank you for joining me on Lawyered Up today. I'm Patrick McGinn. I'm a Florida trial attorney and former police officer, and I try to bring you news of firearms and the Second Amendment issues from around Florida and around the country. As you know, H.R. 1808, the federal assault weapons ban, is making its way through the House. The Firearms Policy Coalition is reporting that it has been rescheduled or deferred or delayed until August because the House does not have the votes to pass it. Apparently, there are some Democrats that are opposed to it, and I guess that's going to give them time to work on it. Another bill that's making its way through the House that you may not know about is H.R. 2814. It's literally a two-page bill. It is a bill to repeal the Protection for the Lawful Commerce and Arms Act. It's literally 2 pages. Here's page 1, here's page 2. It just repeals PLACA fully and will enable anybody to sue gun companies. Why is this a bad idea? Well, there's a misconception that the gun industry can't be sued, and that's not true. They could be sued for defective products like everybody else, but you can't sue a gun company under PLACA because they have PLACA protection at the moment. You can't sue them for the actions of a third party. So if somebody buys a gun, keeps it in their home, Joe comes over, breaks in the house, steals the gun, and goes out and shoots Lucy, Lucy can't go and sue the gun manufacturers for the actions of her shooter because there's basically no connection there. But what the anti-gunners had done in the past is they filed those suits anyway, and they filed multiple suits, and it causes the gun industry to have to expend that money, a bunch of money, on defending those particular suits. And their plan now is, with the Supreme Court ruling in Bruin saying that they can't take, guns away from us basically, and Miller and that line of cases, their next move that they're moving to from the position of taking guns away is to bankrupt the gun industry. And this is one way they'll do it. They'll just sue them with so many cases that they spend so much money just defending the frivolous lawsuits that they go out of business. You still can't sue. You still can sue them for a defective product. If the gun is defective by its design, they can still be sued for that, just like anybody else, car manufacturers or whatever, can be sued for it. There's also a misbelief that the gun industry is the only industry in the country that can't be sued, and that's not true on several bases. One we just talked about. Number two is the pharmaceutical companies and the pharmaceutical industry is the most protected industry in the United States. And if you look back on the laws that were passed, you can't sue any of those companies for any damages related to vaccines. But that's another story and another time for another video. Anyway, we need to defeat the HR 2814 just like we need to defeat the HR 1808. There's a link in the description below where the National Shooting Sports Association, which is the Firearms Association all the manufacturers belong to, has filled out a pre-formed letter to send to your representatives. So what you do is you go in, you type in your zip code, and it tells you who your representatives are, and a pre-written formatted letter pops up. You put your name on it, you put your address, your email, zip code all down at the bottom, and it sends it by email to your representative of the zip code that you selected. So it'll take you like 2 minutes. You fill it out, bang it in. The more pressure we put on, the more people they'll hear from, especially in states that are purple states or democratic areas that have significant populations of gun owners. And yes, I know some of them. There are Democrats that own guns, and I know Democrats that are very, very pro Second Amendment and that oppose these types of measures of gun control. Anyway, as the news breaks, I'll try to keep up with it and report back to you if anything interesting happens. Thanks, and I appreciate the time who's joining us and Lawyered Up. Please like and subscribe if you like this content, and watch for our next video.